Back on pitch side, is a day that has belonged to Kamran Ghulam, the guy who made his test debut, and very well deserved century for him. Just look at the runs, the amount of runs he scored in domestic. He's coming into this game with that burden of expectations, replacement for Babar Azam, but he is our leading story of the day. Then quick look at how things went today on this day one of the second test match between Pakistan and England. And England got 5 wickets at the close of play, and they managed to bowl well in batches. We saw 118 runs were scored by Kamran Ghulam. Brighton cast bowling really well. Got a bit to see a bit of reverse swing as well overall. And at the end of the day, you had Rizwan and Salman Agha on the crease for Pakistan. From a bowler's perspective, Jack Leach getting those 2 early wickets for England. And then you had Brighton cast as well chipping in with that 1 wicket. The seamers Bashir also getting 1 wicket. All right, back on pitch side, like we said, it's a day that has belonged to Kamran Ghulam. He seems to be the top story of the day for Pakistan. From an England perspective, like I said, early wickets for the spinner Leach, and then you had Shoaib Bashir, the other spinner, chipping in with 1 wicket. But really, the day belonged to the debutant. I've now been joined by David Gower and Bazid Khan. Baz, I'm going to start with you because obviously it's all about Kamran Ghulam today. He came in with a lot of expectations. I say expectations because that number is hard to fill. You know, he was coming in as a replacement for Babar Azam, lots of runs in domestic. So what a great day for him.
Yeah, absolutely. The expectation from himself too, the expectation for him to be actually belong at Test match cricket. He's had a tough grind in first-class cricket, and that has worked well for him. Coming into this Test match, he's already scored 16 first-class hundreds, and very rarely do you have that. Only 5 players, I think, have more centuries before they made the Test debut, and we always knew the reputation of him being able to play spin well, but also his reputation of knowing how to construct an innings, and that showed today. He was never overawed by the situation, never under pressure of actually getting runs, and he knew exactly how and when and what shots to get his runs with, and that shows you that he's quite a mature cricketer. Yes, I'm talking about a cricketer who's just making his Test debut, but because of those first-class games that he has under his belt, he's able to then take a step forward or take a step up and still be able to perform. I think it is a very richly deserved for him, but also it just shows you the value of actually coming through the system and making your worth through or making your way through first-class cricket.
You can see what it means to him and his family, the way they were sort of waiting for that 100, anticipating it. And like Baz rightly pointed out, when you come through the ranks, when you come through a system, it's been a hard toil for him in that domestic cricket. He's finally got this opportunity after scoring heavy runs for the last 5 years. I mean, it really is a great achievement for him.
It's a lovely story. People have to be patient sometimes. I mean, there are people obviously who get their chance young, when you're naive and possibly fearless. When you're more experienced, it can actually work both ways because you're also more aware of the possible things that can go wrong. But as far as I can see from today, he came in at a time where there was a potential crisis, early crisis after 2 relatively early wickets. He weathered that little storm, he started to play his shots, and for the greater part of that knock, he was, I'd say, largely in control. So a great story. And then you see the biplots, the subplots, the family, you know, watching nervously as he went through the 90s, celebrating as a moist eye as he got his 100. And these are things actually that are the romance of international cricket, because so many people aspire to be international cricketers. Not everyone gets the chance. Very few make 100 on debut. So this is actually a very special day in all sorts of ways.
Absolutely. And also the fact, Baz, that when you look at the way he played, you know, he never seemed really out of control when it comes to his game, the way he went about it against spinners. Overall, it was just a very calm and composed innings. I mean, he hardly gave any opportunities.
Yeah, look, for the last 4 years, he's been performing outstandingly in first-class cricket, and that's where he's actually learned his craft on how to go about constructing an innings. Remember, he started off as a a left-arm spinner who batted a bit. Now he's turned it around into a batter who can bowl a bit. But that transition in the last 4 years has been very apparent. And he got into the squad 2021 and then didn't play. So he's been around for a while. So that maturity or that level-headedness in the way that he bats and the way that he knows his strength against, be it a spinner or fast bowler, knows his strength on whereabouts I can get my runs from and how I will be able to build a long innings. That just showed you that he wasn't naive in the sense that he'd scored so many runs that he knew exactly what to do. The only issue was, could he do it at test level? Could he do it at one level higher? And we saw that his temperament and the way that he played, that it allowed him to construct the similar kind of innings that he's done time and time again in first-class innings and made that count in Test match cricket.
He was bitterly disappointed when he got out. I mean, he was obviously in it for the long haul. You could tell just by his expressions and his body language that he was really wanting to be still out there at stumps, considering he sort of carried the bat for Pakistan.
Well, it's always a good sign, isn't it? I think partly because he realised that having batted so well for so long through the day, you're in sight of the end of the day. And the most important thing at that stage is to try and be around for the start of day 2. So he'll be aware of the team situation. And that's why he'll be disappointed. I mean, the ball did turn. I mean, for Shoaib Bashir, it was a bit of a relief for him as such as the bowler. But let's just face it, Joe Root set the example, for instance, has done for many years in that first Test match, but bitterly disappointed to be out for 262. Yeah, and that's what good players like. They love batting. So if you like batting, you've got to stay out there.
Absolutely, and we've seen him sort of go down the track a couple of times in that innings, and then he got out in similar fashion. But at least it shows, Baz, you know, when you talk about intent, he seems to have a certain level of confidence in the way he plays.
Well, absolutely. He knows that he's come through the ranks and come the hard way. Also, he believes that he belongs here. And that showed in the way that he batted. It showed the way that he attacked the spinners. It takes courage to actually come down the track and hit the spinners. I think his first boundary was a 6 down the ground. So, A, he knows how to tackle particular bowlers and what strength he has, and B, he also has the courage then to be able, whatever game plan he brought to the innings, to implement that and not back down, and it was fabulous.
All right, just in terms of then how Pakistan lost early wickets, Baz, Abdullah Shafiq and Shan Masood not able to score big runs today. I mean, was it really a case of England bowling really well, or was Pakistan at fault in just the choices they made today?
Look, with the new ball, it was, I think the spinners are most challenging, and then when England got the ball to reverse, then it was a real challenging part of the whole innings. But I thought England bowled pretty well. The pitch hasn't offered as much as we were expecting, that it might turn and do all sorts, but I think England stuck to their job. It is a tough wicket. It's tough to get runs, but if you back yourself and you don't take undue risks, there's not a lot the bowlers can do. So England might well be happy. Look, the pitch is still playing well, so we've got a chance to go big in their first innings. But I think Pakistan at the moment, having won the toss, put runs on the board, and still with batting to come, I think they'll be the happier of the two units.
They would be the happier of the two units, but you also talk about England and the kind of opportunities that they got. They bowled pretty well. There was a time when there was a bit of reverse swing from Bryden Cast, but they got these two opportunities that they lost. There was a dropped catch and an appeal that never took place.
Yes, the latter is the one that always annoys most, to be honest, because, I mean, that little tiny feather there, but there was no conviction, was there? And it was the tiniest of feathers, so if people close to the ball say no, well, that's just one of those things that you have to rue at the end of the day. I mean, they went for one as well. They went for a review where it was missed by about 6 inches, which is the other side of that same story. Just looking back, though, I thought the Leach delivery to Abdullah was a good one. Pitched in the right place, turned, beat the batsman. I thought the Cast delivery to Saud was a cracker. It was almost an off-break from the quicker bowler. But the question that no one can answer is this. This pitch has done bits today. and the natural assumption is that it will do more as the game progresses. But what you don't know is how quickly it will deteriorate or be one of those pitches that carries on being a slightly up and down pitch.
All right, that's something that we'll have to wait and sort of watch. Thank you so much for your thoughts, DG. I am going to let you go now, but it's time to take a short break. When we do come back, we'll have the man of the moment with us. Kamran Ghulam will be joining us on pitch side. Back on pitch side, and the moon in all its glory. We're talking about Kamran Ghulam on this show today. Before pitch side, we spoke about how good he was with the bat, how he's earned his spot, and he made that wonderful 118 in 214 balls. All right, so we're back on pitch side, and like I said, we've got a very, very special guest here with us, the man of the moment himself, Kamran Ghulam, joins us on pitch side. Kamran, बहुत आपको मुबारक हो, बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त किस्म की इनिंग्स थी, इतनी एक्सपेक्टेशंस के साथ आना, बड़ी देर से आप सिलेक्टर्स के दरवाजे पे जो हैं वो नॉक कर रहे थे कि किसी तरह आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले, बिकॉज पिछले 5 सालों में जिस तरह से आपने परफॉर्म किया है, 300s भी अभी पिछले सीज़न में तो कंटिन्यूसली करते आ रहे हैं. तो पहले तो इनिशियल फीलिंग्स का बताएं कि इस मोमेंट में इंग्लैंड के ख़िलाफ़ आके डेब्यू पे 100 करना, क्या कहेंगे?
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. जी बिल्कुल, काफ़ी खुशी हुई. मैं डेब्यू मैच में 100 किया. इसके पीछे काफ़ी मेहनतें, जैसे आपने बोला, 4 साल से तो मैं वेट करता रहा, अपने बारी का वेट करता रहा. टीम में सेलेक्ट हुआ, फिर बाहर हुआ, फिर सेलेक्ट हुआ, फिर बाहर हुआ. तो माइंड में यही था कि यार इतने मुश्किल से मौका मिला है तो इसको ग्रैब करना है और अपने टीम के लिए अच्छे से अच्छा करना है. तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आज मैंने 100 बनाया है. काफ़ी खुशी की बात है मेरे घर वालों के लिए, सबके लिए काफ़ी खुशी की बात.
वो हमें नज़र आ रहा था, आपकी फैमिली भी आई हुई थी, आपको सपोर्ट करी थी. जब आपको वो कैप मिली, वो एक बड़ा एक इमोशनल मोमेंट होता है किसी भी प्लेयर के लिए, गेटिंग दैट कैप, टेस्ट कैप फ्रॉम मोहम्मद रिजवान. तो वो मोमेंट कैसा था? गूस बम्प्स थे, क्या फील हो रहा था?
जी बिल्कुल, 15 साल का वेट था, 15 साल का मेहनत था. और फिर जब हर किसी का ये एक ख्वाब होता है कि मैं पाकिस्तान को रिप्रेजेंट करूं और पाकिस्तान के लिए खेलूं, तो जब मुझे कैप मिला तो मैं अपनी फीलिंग आपको डिस्क्राइब नहीं कर सकता कि मतलब कितना खुशी था. बहुत खुशी था, फैमिली वाले काफ़ी खुशी थे. तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह बहुत इंजॉय किया.
अच्छा, ये बताएं कि ऑब्वियसली इनिंग्स को जिस तरह से आपने पेस किया, शुरुआत की, कई ओवर्स में हम देख रहे थे कि आप स्पिनर्स को भी टेक ऑन कर रहे थे. यू वर सॉर्ट ऑफ गोइंग डाउन द ट्रैक, एंड आई मीन आप जिस तरह से आपका जो स्ट्रैटेजी थी बैटिंग की, वो यही थी कि मैंने बैट बॉल्स के अगेंस्ट रन्स करने, स्कोरिंग वाली स्ट्रैटेजी थी.
हाँ जी बिल्कुल, ज़ाहिर सी बात है आजकल के मॉडर्न क्रिकेट में मैं यही मेरा फोकस था. स्टार्ट जब मैं फ़र्स्ट क्लास भी खेलता हूँ तो मेरा माइंड में यही था कि थोड़ा कोशिश करूँ तेज़ क्रिकेट खेलूँ. बट आई थिंक ये विकेट काफ़ी थोड़ा ट्रिकी टाइप विकेट था, कोई डबल पेस भी था, तो इसमें इतने आसानी से रन नहीं बन रहे थे. तो फिर भी मैं अपना कोशिश कर रहा था जितना मैं स्ट्राइक को रोटेट करूँ तो अपने टीम के लिए अच्छे से अच्छा करूँ.
फर्स्ट क्लास क्रिकेट की आपने बात की, आज जिस तरह आप खेले ऐसे लगा कि जैसे आप बाकी फर्स्ट क्लास क्रिकेट ही खेले, उसी को आपने रेज़ किया. तो उसका 16 सेंचुरी है आपकी आज से पहले, उसका कितना फ़ायदा, और जो इनिंग्स आपने कंस्ट्रक्ट की वो ऐसी लगा कि शायद आप ये पहले भी कर चुके हो, तो वो एक्सपीरियंस आपको इस टेस्ट मैच में बहुत ज़्यादा फ़ायदा दिया.
जी बिल्कुल, आप फर्स्ट क्लास में जब आप रगड़े का आते हो तो जाहिर सी बात है, फिर जब यहाँ पे आते हो तो आपको पता चलता है, आपको अंदाज़ा होता है कि यार मैंने इतना मेहनत किया, फर्स्ट क्लास में आपने इतने रगड़े खाए होते हैं और फिर आसानी से आपको चांस नहीं मिलता. टीम के साथ इस तरह जाते हो, फिर ड्रॉप होते हो, फिर जाते हो, फिर ड्रॉप होते हो, तो कहीं ना कहीं हार्ड वर्क काफ़ी ज़्यादा होता है, आपको पता होता है. फिर आपको ये भी पता होगा कि आपने बाबर आजम के जैसे लेजेंड को रिप्लेस किया है. तो माइंड में ये सब कुछ चल रहा था कि यार इंशाल्लाह ताला इतने अच्छे प्लेयर को आप रिप्लेस कर रहे हो, तो जाहिर सी बात है कुछ ना कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह इसके पीछे काफ़ी हार्ड वर्क था. तो अल्लाह का लाख शुक्र है मैंने रन किया.
नहीं, वो हार्ड वर्क तो हमें नज़र आया, लेकिन जो वो 100 का मोमेंट था जब आप वो सेंचुरी पे फाइनली पहुँचे. 90s में हमेशा बैट्समैन जो है वो नर्वस होता है, इट्स नेवर ईजी, बट देन योर सेलिब्रेशन टेल्स अ स्टोरी एज वेल. तो क्या उस वक्त क्या सोच रहे थे कि अब मैं करीब आ गया हूँ, मैंने 100 करनी है, क्या फीलिंग्स थी उस वक्त?
नहीं, फीलिंग तो काफ़ी एक्साइटेड था, बट अपना पॉजिटिव माइंड के साथ खेल रहा था। मैंने कहा जब अल्लाह ने किस्मत में 100 लिखा है तो जाहिर सी बात है आराम से होगा। अगर आप मैं थोड़ा पैनिक बटन दबाऊंगा तो फिर जाहिर सी बात है फिर नहीं होगा। अगर होना है तो लाजमी होगा, नहीं होना तो फिर 99 पे भी बंदा आउट हो सकता है। बट मैं अपना पॉजिटिव के साथ खेल रहा था, जिस तरह मैंने फ़र्स्ट क्लास में किए अपने पॉजिटिव अंदाज से, तो अल्लाह ने शुक्र करा दिया।
नहीं, ज़बरदस्त, वो तो मैं नज़र आई। ये बताएं कि इस सफ़र में कोई ऐसा इंसान या कोई कोच या somebody who's really helped you get here, जिसने आपकी बहुत हेल्प की हो, जब वो टाइम आया जब आपको टीम में लाए गए और फिर आप नहीं खेल सके, तो आपको किसी ने मोटिवेटेड रखा हो और इनकरेज करते रहे?
जी, ये तो काफ़ी लंबा सफ़र है। जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था कि 14 साल का मेहनत था, तो बिल्कुल जी, जब टीम से ड्रॉप होता था थोड़ा सा बैक ऑफ द माइंड थोड़ा मायूसी हुआ करता था। बट मेरे दोस्त थे, एक मेरा दोस्त था गौर रहमान साफ़ी, उसने काफ़ी मुझे बैक किया, और घर वाले मेरे भाइयों ने काफ़ी बैक किया कि नहीं इस तरह नहीं होता। बीच में मुझे काफ़ी ऑफ़र भी आए बाहर मुल्क के लिए कि यार आप उधर आ जाओ, उधर खेलो। फिर मेरे भाइयों ने भी ये बोला कि नहीं भाई, जो भी हो आपने खेलना है तो इधर अपनी कंट्री के लिए खेलना है। मेरे माइंड में भी यही था कि जो भी होना है, बूढ़ा भी हो जाऊँ, जो भी होना है, पर खेलूँगा अपने कंट्री के लिए खेलूँगा, बाहर मुल्क में बिल्कुल भी नहीं खेलूँगा। तो अल्लाह का शुक्र है, और काफ़ी कोचेज़ ने भी काफ़ी सपोर्ट किया। एक साकिब फ़कीर कोच था, उसने काफ़ी सपोर्ट किया। जिस एकेडमी में मैं खेलता था, शफ़ीक लाला, काजी शफ़ीक लाला, उसने काफ़ी सपोर्ट किया। तो मेरा जो अपर डिस्ट्रिक्ट है उसमें मुझे अंडर 19 में मुख्तियार लाला, उसने काफ़ी सपोर्ट किया। तो सबका मैं शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ। आप लोगों ने मुझे इतना सपोर्ट किया, तो अल्लाह का शुक्र है आज मेरे डेब्यू मैच पे मेरे 100 के।
एक सवाल ये बताएं कि जब आप आए थे तो आप बॉलिंग ज़्यादा और बैटिंग नीचे नंबर पे करते थे, तो कब आपने ये सोचा कि नहीं ये बैटिंग मेरे बेहतर डिपार्टमेंट है, इस पे मैं ज़्यादा कॉन्सेंट्रेट करूँ? ये आपने खुद सोचा या किसी ने बताया, या कब ये आपको मतलब रियलाइजेशन हुई कि नहीं यार ये बैटिंग जो है ये मेरा फर्स्ट स्किल है?
हाँ जी, मैं स्टार्ट में मैं ओपनर खेलता था, मैं बैटिंग ही करता था, बट साथ में बॉलिंग पे थोड़ा ज़्यादा फोकस था अंडर 19 के लेवल पे। फिर स्टार्ट में लिस्ट ए में भी मेरा रिकॉर्ड है बॉलिंग में, मैंने 8 आउट किए, तो बॉलिंग साथ करता था। फिर बाद में पता चला कि यार सिर्फ बैटिंग पे फोकस करना है, मतलब छठे सातवें नंबर पे बैटिंग मिलता था, 5 या 6 नंबर पे। तो फिर मैंने सोचा कि यार नहीं, आप तो बेटर हो, आप अच्छी बैटिंग कर सकते हो। तो मैंने थोड़ा बॉलिंग को साइड पे किया, तो अपने बैटिंग पे फोकस किया, तो उस पर काफ़ी मेहनत की, तो अल्लाह का शुक्र है उसका सिला भी मुझे।
अच्छा, ये जाते जाते ये बता दें कि वो बैट सिग्नल की क्या स्टोरी है? जिस तरह हम आज देखा भी था आपके सामने ही है, जिस तरह से आपका एक वो ये वाला।
हाँ, ये मुझे मतलब मैं जब फर्स्ट क्लास क्रिकेट भी खेलता हूँ, मतलब वेरी फर्स्ट बॉल जब मुझे बैट पे आता है तो मुझे कॉन्फिडेंस मिलता है। जब मेडल होता है तो बस मैं ये अपना थोड़ा एग्रेशन शो करता हूँ, इससे मुझे काफ़ी कॉन्फिडेंस मिलता है।
चले ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच कामरान। आपने बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त किस्म की इनिंग्स खेली, एंड आई एम श्योर यू मेड योर फैमिली प्राउड एंड यू मेड a lot of fans in Pakistan cricket proud today as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
There you heard it from Kamran Ghulam. He's quite proud of his achievements today, and why not? I mean, reaching that kind of milestone, coming in with those expectations. Well done to him. And it's been a decent day for Pakistan. England bowled well as well in patches. We saw that. But tomorrow is going to be an interesting day's play overall as we start at 9:25 a.m. Yeah, lots of questions around that pitch, whether it's going to turn or not. That is something that we will find out tomorrow. But that's pretty much all that we have for you guys from here. Until tomorrow, it's goodbye from all of us.